Alright, so by now you have probably heard the news that Riot Games and you have to opt in. It's just being fully blown removed. But since some of my most popular, most viewed videos on this channel are likely the most viewed videos on the channel because I involved the enemy team who were talking in all chat, I figured that I'd weigh in on the situation a little bit with what I actually think about it all. And honestly, just like the toxicity of League of Legends in general, yeah, I don't like it, like, at all. I understand why Riot are doing it, don't get me wrong, but it seems like they are taking aim at the wrong problem here, just a little bit. It feels like a super duper band-aid solution for a problem that runs so much deeper than just the enemy team giving you a question mark in all chat when you miss an ultimate. Considering League of Legends all chat is like opt-in nowadays, if you were starting the game today, you might not even realize that there was an all chat in the game unless someone mentioned it to you. You accidentally hit the hotkeys or found it in the settings by accident. And considering we have perfectly fine mute functions in the game that granted people never use, the tools are there. But realistically, as much as it is certainly a problem that needs to be dealt with, I think it's been going about the wrong way. I've had plenty of positive experiences in all chat and cutting off communication with the enemy team. I know we're not people go really hard on me or somebody on my team because they're losing. Yeah, we get it. It happens all the time. But is that a reason to shut down all chat? Is that it? Literally it? If somebody says one bad thing, you for sure just mute them straight away. If they say something horrible or racist or sexist or transphobic or homophobic or anything like that. You know what I think the main problem is for taking attack on toxicity in general. It is it does feel like somewhat of a band-aid fix. And I say this knowing absolutely nothing of what goes on behind the scenes at Riot, and I've spoken to some of the player support team, and they work very hard. They work super duper hard. But the issue is that they are only human, and humans can only do so much. It's not good enough, is what the problem is. A lot of people talk about the toxic and how it's very horrible to play, and everybody I ever speak to is who doesn't play League is I've heard that it's bad. And for me, I don't necessarily agree with that from a personal standpoint, but obviously I am in a place of privilege wherein the people I play with are usually people that I've picked to play with, and as such my experiences is vastly different. People that play pre-mates with 4 of their mates have a very different experience to people that play solo. And even when I do play solo queue on unnamed accounts or even on named accounts, I'm very happily, or not happily, but I'll very regularly get targeted for maybe not doing so well as I could be, which is, you know, whatever. It's ranked. Yes. But I think more needs to be done to actually promote positive attitudes in League of Legends. And I've tried, but I also am human. So I've definitely popped off at people in my stream chat before. I've popped off at people and would say what are you doing? I've had a bad day, and you know, me, by the way, but I honestly think that there's plenty of streamers and there's plenty of YouTubers in the League of Legends community that definitely have Riot by the short and curlies, and they seem to exhibit behavior that is not exactly what you want to see. And because they don't get banned, because if they got banned it would cause a storm amongst the community, because it presumably has in the past, it ends up telling people that this is acceptable behavior. Tyler1 is one of them, and don't get me wrong, I've met Tyler1 in real life and he is such a sweetheart. Outside of this is a thing that I've realized since I've been playing card games, in game and out of game are essentially two different people. So there's people that I go locals with who are really salty, miserable players in game, but then once the game has been exited from the equation, they're really nice people and they're really lovely, and they are absolutely fine. And I think Tyler is one of these people. I did not want to see Tyler1 playing Magic the Gathering. My god, who knows what would happen. A humongous community. And outside of the game, he seems like a really nice guy. But I've said before, and I'll say it again, if I happen to be high elo, or like I'm not very confident in my abilities, I would probably like wet my pants if I ended up in the same lobby as T1. Just because I'm not that confident in my abilities and I don't think I'm that good. And I would be like, oh my god, I'm about to be absolutely unleashed upon by this guy. He obviously isn't as bad as he used to be. And this isn't even, I'm only using Tyler because I think he's an example that I think everybody would know. Because there's plenty of people out there. I mean, even in my own stream, because like I haven't eaten today and I decided to stream League for 6 hours, or I haven't had a cup of coffee yet, or even as if that's an excuse, right? I'm just having a bad day and I ended up taking it out with somebody else, like verbally. It's definitely like behavior that whilst Riot don't have any necessarily, they can't really extend to that level. They should be like, hey, relax. Like, if you keep going this way, you're gonna get in trouble. And I don't think that like people that behave this way, and this isn't even talking about Tyler anymore, I don't think that people that behave badly in the games are even remotely punished as well as they could be. And even then, I think that the deterrent for punishment has been slightly deleted, considering you can probably like, I don't know what I don't go on these websites, so I don't know what the price is these days, but I say you could probably buy like a level 30 account for like $10 these days. I don't know if it is that, it could be more, it could be less, but $10 is the price point wherein you can jump back into ranked and continue to like be a bad experience on other people. I think until good behavior is praised and bad behavior is scolded, and like there is an actual deterrent for your behavior, that we're gonna have a big struggle turning the game around. And obviously, like despite me like criticizing myself like quite heavily, like we are our own our worst critics here, my aim with the channel and with all the for the last like 2 years, I don't think I've dropped a single video day for the last like 2-3 years, has always been like, I'm sick of like the competitive try hard, I'm gonna be super serious all the time. And like, this is at its core a video game that should not be taken seriously, which I see ironically because it's been my job for the last like 7 years. This is a game that should not be taken seriously. Can we start treating it like it's actually fun? Because it seems like all of you are miserable. And that was my mission statement from like the start of 2019 onwards. And I don't know if we got anywhere. I don't know. I have lots of people who message me saying like, in fact, I was at a local card store the other day, and some guy was like, said to his friend, like he recognized me because he was playing at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and I was playing like Digimon. He said he called his friend over and he was like, oh, you know how I got into League recently? Oh yeah, blame this guy. And I was like, wait, hold on a minute, don't blame me. Right, hold on a minute, rewind a second. The League is a good game, okay? I think that like the last couple, like I think that like at least like it still seems like that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in my head. And then they have a bad time, and then I don't know where to begin here. There's still people in the community that are like, people in the enemy team, like talk back or like they say hi or whatever. But like I'm being punished because like people, they don't know how to fix toxicity in the game. Do we all just relax 1 second, please? I'm gonna get blasted for this video, aren't I? Regardless, be excellent to each other. Tell Riot how you feel, you know? There's been lots of people telling Riot how they feel. This is me telling Riot how I feel. I think we need to look at this in a macroscope, like in a macroscopic lens, and not like, let's solve toxicity by eliminating everything that we see here. It's like when World of Warcraft, granted I haven't played it in a long time, so I have no idea if this is how it still is, but it's like I think it's like weird sharding in the game. So when you're walking around the world, like it's empty, it's dead, like there's nobody there, as opposed to it being like, as opposed to there being like big servers that are all just pulled together. And it's instead of like one mega server, it's like 10 piddly little servers that have got nobody in them, and then they combine them when you're in a city to be like one server. It's just removing like a little bit of the community aspect. And I know it's an enemy team, they're not supposed to be part of the community aspect, right? But like, the game has like no social functions like at all. Like the friends list barely works half the time. The client is broken 99% of the time. Dude, it crashes other games somehow. Like the League client will crash you playing GTA 5, man. I don't know how it does it, but it does. So like come on, we have like barely any social interaction. You can't make group chats. I guess you can have. I mean, I don't even know. Can you make group chats? Absolutely not. You can't make a group chat with like your friends who play League and easily have them drag in. Like the group chat function in League of Legends is Discord. It's insane. So there's only one way. There's one way to talk to human beings that you might actually have fun. Like there's no way to meet players in the game. You can't meet them unless they're on your team. If you see somebody on the enemy team who's good and you want to talk to them, you have to like add them after the game, hope they accept, and explain, oh yeah, I'm the freaking Orianna from the last game that went 0-12. Would you like to play a game with me? You did really well. And they'll say no. But still, my God, like it's give us some social functions. This wouldn't be as big of a blow to the game if it wasn't like there was only one way to speak to a stranger. You know? And I'm not saying that speaking to strangers is good, but like at the same time, ironically, the game has a social tab that is not social in any capacity. Like we had clubs, but then you guys couldn't stop the black market back alley selling of them, so they got removed. Let us talk to people, let us meet people, let us be a community that isn't Reddit or Discord, man. Jesus. Sorry. Anyway, maybe subscribe for not more content like this. I'm sick of talking about it. I'll do the noises. Any of the OG subscribers that made it to the end, I'm going to make the noises for you. Do I have any more noises? I don't think so. Bye.